Hello, I'm Dennis Smith, the National Clean Cities Director for the U.S. Department of Energy's Office of Vehicle Technologies. I'm based out of our headquarters office in Washington, D.C., but Clean Cities actually works with communities and stakeholders across the country that are interested in using alternative fuels and other petroleum reduction options that help them to reduce their dependence on oil, to save money, and help the environment. Since the program was created in 1993, it's grown to where we now have nearly 100 clean cities and regions working together, and they're making a real impact in each of their communities. The kinds of projects they're involved in include things like using alternative and renewable fuels to power cars, trucks, and buses, fuels like natural gas, propane, electricity, biodiesel, and ethanol, fuels that don't come from oil. Also, idle reduction projects to stop needless waste of fuel, and smarter driving practices that result in improved fuel economy. And finally, the introduction of new transportation technologies like advanced hybrids and fuel cells as they emerge. Because transportation accounts for over 2/3 of U.S. petroleum use, reducing our dependence on oil-based fuels like gasoline and diesel are more important than ever before.
Hi, I'm Dave Gardy for Clean Cities TV, the educational internet TV channel of the U.S. Department of Energy's Clean Cities program. CCTV features videos about projects of Clean Cities coalitions from around the country, like this one involving the Dallas-Fort Worth Clean Cities Coalition. In September of 2012, the Rocky Mountain Fleet Management Association, the RMFMA, hosted their national conference and expo in Arlington, Texas. The conference brought hundreds of fleet managers and industry professionals together and featured electric vehicles, idle reduction devices, and new technologies. The Dallas-Fort Worth Clean Cities Coalition put together a video featuring an interview with Wayne Coram, Equipment Services Director at the City of Fort Worth, on how Clean Cities and RMFMA work together. Here's that video.
Fleet managers all across the country have to deal with sustainability in their fleets as we're trying to provide clean air and a quality of life in our local communities. So Clean Cities Coalition is helpful to the fleet managers across the country and finding those resources they need to green their fleets, and then finding the funding sources to make that happen and helping assist with government regulations and things of that nature. Clean Cities helps RMFMA because you're bringing all those fleet managers together in a cooperative effort and then helping us kind of channel that information. RMFMA is very much about education to the fleet managers, so it helps bring a channel of information to those fleet managers across the country. RMFMA can be kind of that arm for them, and we have the contacts already with those fleet managers across the country, so it helps the Clean Cities folks get out to those fleet managers that are trying to sustain those fleets. Well, Clean Cities coordinators, just showing the benefits that they can bring to those local fleet managers of the funding sources, the contacts there, whether it's a provider or things of that nature, and also just helping educate. There's some fleet managers that are still struggling with moving into the 21st century of sustainability, and so just continue to help educate those folks of fossil fuels are a finite item, but fossil fuels have been king for so long it's hard for folks to move off center. So just continue to educate the fleet managers. Hey, this is a wave that's coming, and we need to do that to kind of stop our dependence on foreign oil.
During the conference, Dallas-Fort Worth Clean Cities educated attendees about the National Clean Cities Program, alternative fuels, and fuel economy practices. Congratulations to Dallas-Fort Worth Clean Cities Coalition on their successful efforts on spreading the word. I'm Dave Gardy for Clean Cities TV. Tune in again to find out how Clean Cities coalitions around the country are achieving their missions.